Hey there, everyone. I, Zak Wolf, would normally be pretty psyched up right now, what with Halloween being less than 2 weeks away. But no thanks to that COVID-19 pandemic, we're not sure what's going to be happening around here. Some cities here in Massachusetts prohibited door-to-door trick-or-treating, but are instead coming up with different ways to celebrate, like certain parades or drive-by trick-or-treating in the style of those drive-by birthday graduation celebrations some towns are doing. Some towns are still doing traditional trick-or-treating, albeit with certain guidelines in place, like avoiding going out in really big groups, having people already be outside to give out candy like I usually do anyways with our garage setup. And some communities, like here in Brockton, are just going to wait and see. The problem is, Brockton's back in the red zone again, with numbers of cases rising. It's getting me a little anxious, too, since I do sometimes suffer from asthma. But so far, I've been very careful with wearing a mask like this if I go to a store or some other place where there's quite a bit of people. And I try to stay 6 feet apart from others when out. Since we're now 7 months into the pandemic, I found it easier for me to follow the social distancing policies. Yet we've still got so many people around here that don't bother to follow the social distancing policies. It's like me and my family are surrounded by idiots. Alright. Anyways, if they do go traditional door-to-door trick-or-treating here, that's great, and we can decorate our garage for it again. But if they go with a drive-by trick-or-treating approach, that's no problem. I'll just let my brother or someone drive me around to give out candy to the kids, as I certainly can't drive in a full fursuit, breaking character here a bit. The city of Brockton still wants to celebrate Halloween in some way, as they want people to still have some fun during these hard times, but still stay safe. And that's not the only thing different about Halloween this year. One thing that is, ABC is not showing It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown this year. Surprised? Not really. Yeah, since we all know how ABC's interest in the Peanuts specials has been greatly waning for a few years now. Unlike the celebration of Charlie Brown Christmas got for its 50th anniversary 5 years ago, ABC did nothing to promote the 50th anniversary of the Great Pumpkin Special in 2016. Plus, Disney is owned by ABC, and Peanuts is not a Disney property, especially since ownership is now divided by the Schultz family, DHX Wild Brain, and Sony Music Japan. It became especially evident when Pixar came out with that Toy Story of Terror in 2013. And since Pixar and ABC are both Disney companies, as I mentioned, it was a no-brainer that ABC would love it so much they'd go all out in promoting it, barely mentioning the Great Pumpkin Special, and also kicking DreamWorks' Scared Shrekless off the network so they could make room for Toy Story of Terror. Bah! Toy Story of Terror doesn't even have anything to do with Halloween, and it's not even that scary. Not like Halloween is Grinch Night, also having nothing to do with the holiday, but that actually does have some scary moments. Have you seen by that Sesame Street music video I did a while back? But let me get back to the main topic at hand, with Peanuts, because sure, ABC would air the Great Pumpkin Special a second time later in the month, uncut and paired with an edited version of You're Not Elected, Charlie Brown. But ABC would often just stick it on a random night in a random time slot where they have nothing new scheduled. More often than not, pitted against a football, a World Series game, or some other big TV event. So they're basically sentencing the uncut Great Pumpkin airing to a death slot, resulting in its ratings being very abysmal. And speaking of ratings, for the past several years, the Great Pumpkin's ratings have been falling behind compared to Toy Story of Terror, again because of Disney running things and promoting what they own from the get-go.
Thanks a lot, Pixar! You helped kill off a classic TV tradition with your non-Halloween special Toy Story of Terror. It's just like when you went to help make us Looney Tunes has-beens when you went up.
You stay out of this, Daffy! Instead, Apple TV Plus got exclusive distribution rights for the Peanuts specials, and it's going to stream them there. Of course, we know how notoriously expensive Apple can be. Heck, their lowest priced iPhone is $400, but it sure packs a lot of power for an iPhone SE at that price level. Also, as I may have said, Apple has this weird idea that everyone in the world has high-speed internet access, when that is just not true. This is a big reason why Apple doesn't believe in Blu-ray, what with the late Steve Jobs saying it was just a bag of hurt, and beginning to phase out optical disc support. And there are still a lot of people that don't have smart TVs or can't stream media in some way, even if they have a computer. Though Apple TV Plus will make the Great Pumpkin special free for anyone to watch on the Halloween weekend. So at least there is a bit of generosity on their part. But I was hoping that they would remain on broadcast TV, even if ABC doesn't renew their contract. They could have moved over to Fox, since they ran Happiness is a Warm Blanket Charlie Brown earlier in the last decade. Or maybe they could even go back to CBS, where the Peanuts specials aired up until 2000. I'm sure CBS would have been happy to resume keeping the tradition alive, and they already have a nice library of animated specials at hand, including Rankin Bass's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman, and they'd probably be more than willing to let the Peanuts join it again. What a way for Peanuts specials on network TV to go out, and on the 70th anniversary of the franchise, no less. But anyways, I don't need Apple TV Plus, because I've already watched the Great Pumpkin special on DVD here. I'll probably watch it a couple more times this month. And I also have this LP record here of the special soundtrack released by Disney Vista Records, which is why Disney's Big Bad Wolf played it for you all 6 years ago. Back then, these were a way to re-enjoy a movie or TV special in the days before home video by listening to a record version that may have additional narration or dialogue added to describe what's happening, like Disney did a lot back then with their storyteller albums, including this one. But I don't see Toy Story and Terror anywhere on the ABC schedule this year either, which seems to be more of a surprise than the Great Pumpkin's absence. Perhaps it's because Freeform airs it a lot. And maybe it's also so they can persuade people to subscribe to Disney Plus if they want to see it. Yeah, as with the pandemic, lately the Walt Disney Company has been shifting their focus more towards Disney Plus in a way to keep the company alive, what with movie theaters mostly being closed, and the theme parks as well. This pandemic is really affecting everyone. I sure do miss being able to fursuit outside of home. But maybe this Halloween will be an exception. As I mentioned, another Halloween surprise, and not a good one, is that the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror 31 special, along with Bless the Hearts and Bob's Burgers Halloween episodes for this year, all got preempted due to a World Series game suddenly being scheduled for that night. Again, I would assume the pandemic might have had a part to play in this. What was screwing up sports as well. Fox is now instead going to air them all, along with a regular mundane Family Guy episode, on November 1st. It'll be the first time in 10 years the Treehouse of Horror special premiered in November. And on the 20th anniversary, they started doing it on November 1st, 2000. Whew. That made me feel kind of old. But since this is a last-minute thing, Treehouse of Horror 31 did air in Canada as planned. And so I'll find a way to see it before Halloween. I also got a costume for me planned for this Halloween, because this year we're getting a full moon on Halloween night, a blue moon. So I pulled out this werewolf shirt, which you may remember the Big Bad Wolf wearing at Anthem New England 2019, where they're attacking a WeirCon theme. And it also looks pretty good on me, making me look more like a werewolf than it did in the Big Bad Wolf. Plus, next week I'll be on a virtual version of BMC's Halloween parties on Zoom, so at least there's also that. But I guess that's enough for now. Just keep subscribing and whatever to this YouTube channel. Brought to you by Haggerty's Hot Dogs, the hot dog that puts a smile on your face.
Don't forget the mustard!
Sorry, I couldn't resist. What with Scooptober going on, and I saw that bit in a newer episode of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, with the Haggerty's Hot Dogs mascot bearing an uncanny resemblance to Scooby-Doo. And I just had to recreate that mascot in cosplay form. After all, I already have such a mask. And you remember how I also recreated that bit from the classic 8-Man episode with the titular villain disguising as Scooby-Doo. Yep, so there are some upsides to this season. Here's to hoping things get even better. And so keep watching this channel.